Hello and welcome to Moxie Journal. My name is Calyx and I'm so glad you are here with me today. Today I am going to do a VR to Angel over at Feeding My Soul 1212. Now earlier, a few weeks ago, she gave us this great set of 15 prompts, ways to look at our decks, and I thought that was a lot of fun. I'll link that one up here in case you didn't get to see that one, but she's done another one. We've got 15 more prompts and this one is a scavenger hunt. So kind of search through the decks and see if you can find one that matches. So if that sounds good to you, please stick around and we'll jump right in. All right, so we've got 15 prompts and I'll put them all in the show notes below, but I don't know how to make the little fancy titles scroll across the screen. I haven't figured that out yet. So I'll just read them out loud to you. And I do have some that I just had a bunch of decks, so I just grabbed the one that was closest that matched the prompt, and a few of these actually made me search. And one of them, spoiler alert, one of them is a big 0, but I made up for it, so I'm going to actually show you 15 decks because there's another one where I had a runner up in the category. So we'll end up with 15, but I've just had to rearrange it just a tiny little bit. All right, here we go. Prompt number 1. A deck with a quote on the inside of the box. And this one, I do pay attention to my decks and I often see pictures, but I was like, oh, do I have any that have a quotation or a quote on the inside? And so I searched and it was very fun. There I am, like opening my decks, pulling off lids, switching them around. It's a very fun way to look through my decks, but I did find a great one actually, and that is the Gothic Literature Tarot. So this one, of course, is a great one to have a quotation at the beginning of it. It's a big old box. This one is by Syrian Shadow, and the quotation says, the quote at the beginning says, "In the depths of the night where shadows dance with secrets lies the heart of the soul, where every turn reveals mysteries untold and every card whispers tales of darkness and redemption." I love that, the heart of the soul. Anyway, so that is our Gothic Literature Tarot for prompt number 1. Prompt number 2 is a deck with a damaged box or card. And this one is a deck you might not have seen a lot of. This is the Stairs of Gold Tarot by Tavaglione. This is a first edition. It came out in 1979, I believe, but I didn't get it till a couple of years after that. When I was a teenager, this is my very first deck, and this sweet box has worked very hard to stay together, but you can see she's missing one of her little tabs. And, I think for a tuck box that is, as old as she is, she's doing pretty good, but still she's showing her age. Few little wrinkles and creases and scars, as it were. Happens to the best of us. All right. Number 3, prompt 3, a deck with one or several renamed cards. And this one, I have a bunch of them. I tend to actually really like decks with the court cards that are renamed. Sometimes I actually even like to have some of the majors renamed. Like I like when the Hierophant is a seeker or a teacher. But I challenge myself on this one to show you a deck that I've never shown on my channel before. And at least I don't think I have. And I mean, you may have seen it. It's not like it's a super rare deck or anything. It's a fan deck, Supernatural. And this is one of those Insight editions. This is Minerva Siegel and Matthew Skiff. And this one, what I really like about it, everything all ski-wumpy over here. What I really like about it is that it's the suits that have been renamed. And I really like the way they match the show. I think they're very well done in that. So I also actually like quite a few things about this whole deck. For a fan deck, for me, it works. I like the limited color palette. I mean, I can quibble with some of it, but I'm not going to. So here we go. The suits are, for the Earth suit is pentagrams, which I think is really good, as opposed to discs or pentacles, or, I think if you watch this show. So pentagrams. And then the swords or the air suit become blades, which I think is very good on the show. And then bones, the wands become bones. And look at that. And we get through the page of bones. Where do we get? Here's the knight. These, I don't really like the finish on these. They are a little grabby. And I haven't shuffled them that much. I've worked with it some, but it doesn't quite have a place in my collection, except other than I just like Supernatural. So then the fourth suit are the goblets. So we have pentagrams and blades and bones and goblets. And then the other renaming that I like is that instead of just the Fool, we have the Fools. And of course, these are our boys, Sam and Dean. But I come from a Gilmore Girls background, so he'll always be Dean to me. All right, so here we go. Pentagrams and blades and bones and goblets and fools. That is our the answer to the prompt for a deck where one or several of the cards have been renamed. And then we are on prompt number 4, a deck with reversible backs. Now I have tons of these, so I just, actually not quite as many as I thought, because I just grabbed a few on my desk and turned out a couple that I thought were reversible. If you really paid attention, then they weren't. I don't really read with reversals, so I don't pay attention to it too much, but I do have a lot, and this one was on my desk. This is Colette Baron Reed's the Spirit Animal Pocket Oracle. So Spirit Animal Oracle, and then I have the Pocket Edition. And these cards have beautiful mandalas on the back, and they're reversible. If they were mixed up, you couldn't see. And since we're here, let's look at some of these. Now, I mean, I get there are some issues with this deck. I mean, these are animals doing not very animal things, right? They're wearing headdresses and feathers, and they have war paint on, but still, I think it's sweet. I think Colette Baron Reed, I think some people really, really love her. I have a few issues, but I think this one is a very sweet deck. And I've had the Enchanted Map like 2 different times. I bought it and then gave it away and bought it and then gave it away again. So clearly I have some issues, but isn't that pretty? Oh, I just love it. The deer spirit. So, I mean, these are fantasy creatures, and the dog and the dolphin. So I love animals, and I think this is, pretty... These are not animals being wild animals, really, but still they have good messages, and it's fun, and they have reversible backs, which is the prompt that we were meeting. All right. Numbers, I have a little cheat sheet here so that I can remember what to show you where. And then question number 5, a deck with a star on the box. Oh, this was another one. Don't you just feel like every single deck that you have has a star? I thought so, and then I started really looking, and I didn't have as many stars as I thought. But then, I mean, like, my Supernatural, I mean, I guess you can count that as kind of a star, but like actual star, I looked around, and then all of a sudden I realized I was kind of overlooking this Wild Unknown. This is on my desk every day. This is my everyday deck. And this is the cosmos. These are stars right here. So yay, a star on the box. I can't wait to see what everybody else picks for these. And then let's see. Question number 6, a deck with no or few people in the minors. So this one was a little confusing to me, because then Angel for hers said she could cheat and pick an animal deck. But I have a lot of animal decks. I like animals a little better than most people. I went through most of my people decks, but most of my people decks have people in the minors. So even if it's cheating, I went ahead and picked a deck to show you. This is Tarot of the Magical Forest, and it was right on my desk because this one has a little bit of a story. This particular version of this particular deck was destined to be mine. And I will show you, I'll prove it doesn't have any people in the minors. I just got this one, but it's been a little bit of a saga. And it's got that weird low scarabeo smell to it. I'm definitely going to sit out on the full moon and see if we can get some of that to go away. Some things. So these are the backs. And then these are, they're all cute little creatures, right? It's the Magical Forest. So they're little animals doing people-y things. It goes along with the Rider-Waite-Smith imagery, but they aren't in fact people. I guess they're animal people, but still, I'm going to use it. I'm going to count it as this deck. I do have the Tarot of the Landscape, so that I think could have worked maybe even better. But I had just gotten this one, and I love that the knights in this deck have these little other creatures that they're riding, and their faces are just so terrific. Anyway, here's the saga of this deck. I ordered this deck. It's fantastic. I waited. I thought, shouldn't it be here by now? And I waited, and then I, finally dug through my email, and my order had been canceled. I don't know why. I contacted customer service. They didn't know why. It was just canceled. So I ordered it again, but by then, this suit has little kitty cats in it, the swords. And so then when I ordered a second time, by that time I had waited long enough that I could order 2 decks at once, and the other deck that I ordered was really big. It was a big box. Well, when the package was delivered, the top and the bottom were sealed, but the package was just beat all to heck. And so when I opened it, the big box of the other deck was there, but this little box for the Tarot of the Magical Forest, nowhere. The side was slit open. It was gone. I called. They said, oh, we're sorry, but we're not responsible for blah, 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 the delivery. I called FedEx. They aren't responsible for it either, so I was pretty fed up. I almost just didn't order the deck, and I thought, no, I have wanted this one for a long time. I love the little images. It calls to me. It makes me happy. And so I persisted, and I ordered a 3rd copy, and I ordered it all by itself, and I looked every day to make sure that it was not canceled, and lo and behold, it just showed up, and everything was perfect. It was cushioned. It delivered on time, even got delivered on a rainy day, and they put it very carefully up on the driest part of my door, even though I was standing right there. I did appreciate that. So this deck, this version of this deck, without any people in the minors, so it meets the this little knight with his little creatures, his tongue hanging out, just cracks me up. Anyway, the bunnies. This deck was meant to be mine. This particular version of this particular deck. That's what I have to believe. And so I think we have some work to do. And yeah, this deck is definitely going to sit out and maybe get put with some incense or tea bags or something. Because, she's got that strong, inky smell. All right, brand new. So that was prompt number 6. All right, so number 7 is a little bit related, and it's a deck that doesn't have a person in the Fool card. And again, sorry, Angel, if it's cheating, but I went with an animal deck, but this time I challenged myself even a little bit more. Instead of, because I have a bunch of animal decks, but like the Tarot of the Magical Forest, they are animals doing people-y things. They're sort of people animals, but I decided to pick The Forger's Daughter by Jessica Howard. I think it's Jessica Howard. I think so. Anyway, The Forger's Daughter Tarot, and this edition is the Afterlight edition. There's another one, mine's purple. There's another one that's sort of a burgundy rose. It's lovely, but I have this edition because I love purple. If you've been here before, you probably know that. If this is your first time, welcome. I'm so glad you are joining me on our scavenger hunt through my decks, and I love purple. Purple, all the purple. I picked this one though because this one, the Fool, is not a creature doing people-y things. This one is an egg or a root that is breaking out. This is that, that bursting forth into life. No guarantees, right? That big leap. So I thought this was really beautiful. And I'll show you some of the other cards because this one is just a stunning deck. It's very gentle. I like this deck. It's kind of a parchment, antique, kind of linen-y color on the edges. And it's all kinds of purples. It's a little bit of that, not quite Art Deco, but maybe with these borders. And it has a bunch of cicadas. So if you don't like cicadas, maybe this isn't the deck for you. But I think they're lovely. And got all kinds of some different names, right? So this is Ingenuity. We have some extra extra cards and things going on, but I love the imagery. I love the readings that I get with this one. Oh, this star card. I love that image of hope. The High Priestess. Look at this. That just. So this is one of my favorite decks to work with. I really like working that moon. Okay, I'll end on the moon card because I think it's beautiful. It does have some gilded edges. Yeah, I'll put the Fool back up on the top. But they're not bitey. They're very, it's beautifully done. I did buy the extra book that goes with it, this sort of hardback book, and it's totally worth it. But my bias is I really like books. All right, so this is the Fool that is not a person. And in this case, it was a root, an egg, a new life. All right, what are we on? Number 7? Number 7 is a deck that doesn't, oh, that's the one we just did, a deck that doesn't have a person in the Fool card. So number 8 is a deck with your favorite box design. And that is by far and away going to be the Lilith Tarot. This is a 2-part box. My favorite is 2-part box with a little thumb hole, so I can just open it. And this one I had to show you because it's the prettiest one of any of these that I've seen, in addition to the fact that it could be open and on my desk, which is why I like this. It has these beautiful, almost, you could make these like a little diorama or a little altar, put some little crystals or something just right there when you were taking this one around. I like these because they're sturdy. I like it when they hold the deck. Particularly like it when the book fits in here. Now, I just did say how much I love the chunky guidebooks. I think they're great. I love full-size additional guidebooks. I really love guidebooks. However, there's a lot of value in having a guidebook. This is a little white book, but this is the best example of a little white book. This is the Lilith Tarot by Marion Costentin. Anyway, I'm sorry if I'm saying that name wrong. Costentin. This little white book has so much information. It's really easy to read. It has information on the numerology and look, examples of Arabic numerals from this codex, has sacred symbol information. It does have some spreads, and this is all in easy to read font, even for my eyes. It has the major arcana. Now, it does mostly follow the RWS, so it's got so in that case, you don't need a big write-up, right? It's really just keywords, but it does have some associations. There, where it deviates, it talks about why it deviates a little bit. So maybe it's a little bit Thothy and a little bit RWS. And even when we get to the minors, it does have 3 to a page, but it has all of the little color pictures. So, and this book fits perfectly in the box, which is what we're really talking about here, Calyx. And then the deck fits right in here. And I particularly like to have this 2-part box on my desk because I like to leave my decks open, but I like to be able to move them around. And I like to not bump into them and have them go skittering all over my desk. And I can leave it with the card open. I mean, the clamshell ones, I'm going to show you the runner-up in just a second. Actually, I'll do that right now. If you can't have a 2-part box where it can be totally open and just contained like this and sort of stackable and movable, then my second favorite is it'd be really pretty. And so this is one of those I don't know, clamshells opened, whatever. It kind of has the magnet over here and it opens. I don't love this because I can't just leave that sitting out on my desk open, but oh my gosh. Can you see how pretty this is? I mean, if you're gonna have a second favorite box configuration, make it this pretty. This is, I don't know that I said that, this is the Delian Oracle by Welkin. Thank you, Tammy Pie. Tammy Pie is my Welkin enabler. I probably would have never heard about them except for Tammy Pie and showing them off, and of course I just have had to start my collection with them, and this one's beautiful. And these cards, I know this is about the box, but these cards are just absolutely beautiful and fascinating and rich and exciting, and I have them in an order because I'm gonna do a walkthrough on this one. I know there are other walkthroughs, but I do my own chatty deck walkthrough. So this is my runner-up for favorite box style. It's the second favorite. But first, creators, please do more of these two-part boxes with the thumb holes. Actually matter too. All right, moving right along. That was number 8, our favorite box design. Number 9 is a deck you've made a 180-degree turnaround about, meaning you anticipated it, you were all excited, and then it fell flat when you got it, or the other way around. You weren't so sure about it, and then you absolutely loved it once you started working with it. And I'm going to go with the second option. So I have a deck. Now, I talked about this recently, but I'm still going to put it out here. And this is the current, we're here at the beginning of June, still working with Beltane, Seasonal Energy, and the Seasons of the Witch. And this is the first time I had worked with all of these. So because they just completed the whole series, and this is the one, there were 3 done with the original artist Giada Rose, and then the next 5 were done with Tiana Lukovic. I'm not sure how to say her name. I apologize for mispronouncing anybody's name. And this one has a box that I like, and I when I first got it, I mostly got it because I like to work with seasonal energy. I like Beltane energy. It's fire magic. It's earth magic, right? It's sexy magic, right? The goddess and falling in love and doing the things that the world requires to make babies. And so all of that is Beltane. And I like bees, so I didn't have a problem with that, except some of the imagery was just really difficult for me. Don't sort of love that one. I like the meaning, but the actual picture of it was a little hard. Don't so much love some of the fae. I'm not really comfortable with that. Some of the, and there's actually one that is really difficult for me that I have to get to. I meant to have this one on top. I don't like that one. I don't like having bugs on people's faces, actually touching them. I get that they have them flying around. I love the, I actually love that they have this repeating element. That doesn't bother me, but like this one, this card, ooh, I can't even, I don't like extra eyes. I know that that's honey, but it looks like drippy blood, but this cow, but then you have this beautiful cow. Anyway, I can kind of get over, I don't really love his kind of challenging face. I have an issue with faces. If you didn't know that about me, then you're probably new. So again, welcome. I'm glad you're here. But so I just wasn't sure. I was a little bit dreading working with this deck, but I was just going to kind of put up with it. And let me tell you, when I first started pulling the cards, and I pulled them with the Lilith Tarot, the colors, the line work, the meanings just really were on point. Now, I don't love the extra eye, particularly on goats. Goats have weird eyes. But the write-up on this card when I got it was really terrific. Now, this one, I mean, she's awesome. If she would come up every day, I love her. I think there's a reason she's on the cover of the box. I mean, that is a confrontational face. Like she's not taking it from anybody. She is absolutely gonna stare right at you, but I love her, so that's not a problem for me. Anyway, these cards just ended up, and I've got a couple more weeks to work with them, and I love them. Surprisingly, I really, really love them. And often, if I have a card I really don't like, I'll take it out of the Oracle. I haven't taken that one out yet, this honey one. I do just kind of keep hoping it doesn't come up for me, or maybe I can just kind of get used to it, but I don't like the looks of it. But the meanings, the way it's written, and the way they've layered have been a surprise. So I've done a 180, and I love this one, and I will not be resistant to using it again next year. I am a little ready for Letha to get here though, so I won't be sad to put it away, but I will look forward to getting to use it again. All right, so that was number 9, the 180. So deck or prompt number 10, so our 10th deck here, is a deck with an even major in the box artwork. So the High Priestess or the Emperor or the Lovers, Strength, Wheel of Fortune, etc. this one, Angel. Oh my goodness, you had me searching through all of my decks. This was fun. This was fun to look at the artwork and kind of pay attention to what was on there. I have bunches that have the Magician. And so this one, I thought, oh, I'm gonna have to stretch this one. I'm gonna have to do something a little not right. And then I finally came across, I think I went through almost all my decks. I think I had maybe 4 more to really look at. And then I came to this one. I did find one and it totally works. And that is Tarot Familiars. So I'll be really interested to see what other people come up with. I haven't seen anybody's video except Angel's if they've done them. So so if someone else has picked this one, I apologize. I'm not copycatting, although I don't have a problem with that. Because I think this prompt was really hard. But look, right here, we have Judgment and actually bonus, we have Temperance on the box here. And these cards, I'll show you just a few of these. Oh, who's this by? It's a Fournier deck. I love this deck. It's a little dated, but it's I love it. I love the artwork. Well, I mean, it's a little pippy. So, but I love the color. It's dark, and yet the colors for the imagery are bright. I love the borders. Again, you know, pippy. But sometimes with dark decks, I can't see them very well. They look a little muddy, but these colors pop off. Off of the background. They seem illuminated. And I mean, it does seem a little dated, but dated in a way like, you know, like it could be used in the TV show Charmed, which is nostalgic for me, which makes me happy, which actually just makes me love it even more. I don't actually know when this deck came out, but it is a lot of fun to work with, and I love the little pictures. I want those little shoes. And it meets the prompt because it has, oh, the whole point there, Calyx, was to show, what was it on the back? Temperance, which is 14, that's an even number. And then what was the other one? Judgment, le jugement. Judgment, which is 20, that's an even number. And those are on the back of the box. Woohoo! Mission accomplished. Scavenger Hunt. That one I did, and I'm gonna rest on my laurels there, because as I said, there is one up here that I don't have, and I couldn't make it work. Okay, I'm gonna go back in the tuck box off camera. So what are we on? That was 10. 11 is a deck on your tarot shelf or storage area with the box title facing in the opposite direction from the others. So let's see if I can kind of set this one up to show you. Oh, maybe I needed that one. Here's the Delian Oracle. Okay, so in I don't have the I don't have the skills to go to my shelf with the camera and then splice it all together. I can't do that. So I'm just going to recreate my shelf for you. So pretend this is my shelf, and this is the way my decks sit on my shelf when they're in boxes. And then we have the Color Mage Oracle. And I love this deck. It's a lot of fun. It's just colors, but like if you do it face up and you turn it this way, so it says Chroma Mystic, which is the company, Chroma Mystic, it faces the wrong way. But if you do it the other way, you have this digital bonus gifts, like bleh, what is that? Somebody designed, this is like a fail. Like I don't want that showing on my shelf. And I mean, I could do it upside down, and I guess nobody but me would really know that it's upside down, but that kind of hurts my little orderly brain. I don't think it's quite OCD, but it doesn't make me happy. So often I put this one kind of on the end just like that, or I stick it behind like this, so it doesn't show. But that is one that is printed the wrong way, and it drives me just a little bit bananas. So I'll be interested to see. Again, I really do like how other people answer these prompts. I think it's very interesting to think about it. And Angel, how did you come up with these ideas? That is something I wouldn't have thought of. Okay, just a couple more, my friend. Number 12 is the one I'm going to skip because the prompt says a lonely deck, a deck you don't store with any other deck. And I don't have one of those. I literally I don't keep one deck all by itself. Even I thought, oh, my purse or my car, and I drive about 10 miles a month and I don't leave decks in my car. But the decks I take in my purse, I always take at least an Oracle and Tarot. So I always at least have two little pocket ones together. I don't ever just have one. And I don't have one deck that's like fancy or special enough to be up on a pedestal all by itself. So everybody else is kind of crowded in on the shelves together. So anyway, that's a big fat 0 for prompt number 12. Number 13, a deck you associate with the current season. Now, of course, I could have done this season of the witch, this season energy, just like we already talked about, but I picked the Southern Botanic Oracle, and this one is by Stacey Williams and this one I mostly picked because, you could use this one at any time. I think it works, but right here at the beginning of June in the southeast of the United States, most of this stuff is just in bloom, right? This is what the world looks like here. Crepe myrtle, my crepe myrtles are flowering, and they'll be flowering through August. In fact, one of my favorite things about them is in August when everything else is given up because it's so dang hot, crepe myrtles are still beautiful. Azaleas look great. High John the Conqueror, cedars. I don't know about okra. I don't plant okra. Joe Pye weed. I don't actually know ghost pipe and archangel root. Wild cherry, maybe that's just a little bit past. Periwinkle, vinca, that's still all over. You do have to kind of water the vinca though. Hubblebush, I think maybe I call that something else, but we have that. Rose, Hearts of Eston, Solomon's Seal, watermelon, maybe not quite yet. Maybe that's just a little bit away, but it's on its way. Pokeweed, I've got to go drag some of this. I've got to go pull some of this. This is very poisonous. You have to be careful, and it grows really fast. It's beautiful, and it'll stain your clothes. And anyway, so Spanish moss, lemon balm, hickory, like all of this is just, it is everywhere. Tomatoes, well, they're almost, depending on when you set yours. Anyway, so this is just a summer southern deck. This one is totally the season for me right now. All right, and if you live somewhere where that's not so, I'm excited to see what season you're in and what deck fits that for my friends from elsewhere. All right, 14, a deck in which your favorite animal makes an appearance. Well, first of all, this was defining my favorite animal, which was tricky. But I picked the Animal Wisdom Tarot because it has all my favorite animals. Now, I love anything with tentacles. I love octopuses. I love lots of undersea creatures. But in real life, because I don't really just get to hang with the octopus or, swim with the whales or, I've never seen a narwhal in person, but how cool would that be? Anyway, and I almost picked my deck that had that, but I didn't. I picked this one, the Animal Wisdom Tarot, because it has most of my favorite creatures all in one. Dogs are really my favorite creature, and this has a pretty good guidebook to go with it. Now, I will say the box is obnoxious. I don't like these ones where you have to do half and half or where they're on the side. It's just, creators, don't do that to me. And of course, up at the top here is one of the few animals I don't really like. Nope, here I must have sorted them with looking at the ones I don't like. 'Cause I don't love scorpions, and I don't love monkeys, and I don't really love rats. But I love all the others. Okay, so we've got raccoons and llamas and pigs. Pigs are very smart. They're a little difficult to work with, but they're very smart. Bears and storks and herons. This has a lot of really good birds in it if you're a bird person, although, of course, there are some very specific, amazing bird decks. Magpie, I met a real magpie for the first time just a month ago. It was very fun. I'd never seen one in real life until I went to England and stayed with a friend. Albatross, these are giant. crows and vultures. I do actually love vultures and parrots and falcons and an ibis. I've never seen one of these either, but I hope to. Eagle, I love those. And then dog. This is my favorite, so maybe I should end here, but there are all kinds of other really great animals in here. Prairie dogs and bisons and sea turtles and like the cubs are all water animals. Jellyfish, oh my gosh, I love jellyfish. Otters, I mean, you know, if you ever need serotonin boost or dopamine hit or whatever the happy drug in your brain is, go online and search for cute otter videos, and then, you know, be prepared to spend a half an hour laughing at the antics of them. So tigers and leopards and camels. Oh, I hope to see a real camel. I'm actually going to Egypt to the pyramids in February. I'm so excited. Scarab beetle, like I want to see one of those too. So anyway, so my favorite animal, my dogs, make an appearance, and as well as lots of my runner-up favorites. So again, that was the Animal Wisdom by Tarot by Dawn Brunke. And then I think we're on the last one, my friend, and it is a deck with a rainbow, either on the box or in the cards. Now I could have picked a Lillifer Tarot because this one does have a rainbow here, and I thought, well, I've already shown that one, and can't be that hard, right? I love rainbows. Surely I have a bunch of rainbow things. Well, apparently I don't have nearly as many rainbow things as I thought. So again, Angel, you had me searching through my decks in a different way. I have made some assumptions that just turned out not to hold water, but I did eventually find one, and that was the Tarot, the Magical Creatures Tarot. And this is Wilder Heart Studios by Linda Ritter. And this one has the Ten of Cups, is a beautiful rainbow. This is a great deck. It's fantasy based, and it has some extra cards like oracle cards like Letter and 7 League Boots and a treasure map and Wishing Well, as well as the tarot and like broomstick. I love this deck. It's a lot of fun to work with, and it meets the criteria there for rainbow. All right, so thank you so much for sticking with me on my scavenger hunt. That is all 15 prompts. I did show you 15 decks, even though I cheated a little bit. I gave you 0 on one and I gave you 2 on another. Still 15. And I loved it. This is a lot of fun. Thank you, Angel. And if you have played along, let me know in the comments so I can go see your VR. I'll be trying to check out the tag, but I love it when people tell me. And if you're not a creator, you're not making your own videos, tell me, do you have any of these? Like, is there one you think that you couldn't do? Do you have the lonely deck? And if so, why? Why do you have your deck being lonely? I was kind of intrigued by that. Anyway, thanks again for being here. I hope you have a great rest of the day, rest of the week, rest of the month, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.